I hope I don't have brownie in my teeth. I just hit record, but hang on. Don't tell me if I do or not. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Autumn and today I want to recap what I did for Camp July. So I participated in Camp NaNoWriMo last month and I had an announcement video talking about everything I wanted to do for the month. And now that NaNoWriMo has come and gone, or Camp NaNoWriMo has come and gone, I always like to recap the month, talk about what I did, what I didn't do, kind of my feelings towards what I did in the entire month. I think the best way to kick off this video is just to remind everybody what my goals were for Camp July. So let's just run through that very fast. I had two projects that I was working on last month. I had one project, which was Project Ice. That is my current fantasy project that I am working on. And my goal for that project was to write between 15,000 words and 20,000 words in that entire manuscript. Whenever I set goals for my writing and I want to hit a word count, I always feel like I work best with ranges. So 15 to 20,000 words and I kind of get within that range. That works a lot better for my mind versus saying I have to reach 15,000 words. It's something with my brain where I feel less fixated on a certain number and it gives me a certain range to work towards. It's so much easier for my mind to strive towards a range versus a set number. I also have another fantasy project as well, which is called Project Burning Roses, and that is a complete first draft of a totally separate story from Project Ice. Still fantasy, just totally different. Two standalones. For this story, I finished writing the first draft of it last year. All I wanted to do for this project was to do a full reread. No taking notes, no nothing quite yet, just one full reread. I wanted to do another read through and then start to note things like things that I liked with the story, things that I didn't like, things that need to be worked on, characters, plot, world building, all of that stuff. I wanted to start taking notes on that project. And then I wanted to start coming up with a game plan for starting the second draft of the other story. So those were the two projects that I was working on last month. The primary project was Project Ice, which would have been drafting all of those words. And then if I finished that, then I was going to be moving on to working on my other project, Project Burning Roses. I also had an hourly goal that I wanted to hit for each week. To explain that a little bit further, I am not an individual who can write every day. I just can't do it with my lifestyle, with my work. It's just not possible for me to write every day. So instead of setting a daily goal for hours or sitting down and doing 30 minutes a day or anything like that, what works best for me and my lifestyle is to set an hourly goal for each week. For last month, I wanted to spend about 3 to 5 hours each week working on writing, which is drafting Project Ice or whatever I needed to get done with Project Burning Roses through the reread and coming up with a game plan. The final goal for the month, I had a phrase of the month. My phrase of the month was to think positive. And I wanted this because I felt like very recently, or at least at the beginning of July, there was a lot of negative things that were happening in my life, going around me. And I felt like that negativity was then spreading to other parts of my life. It was making me feel very negative about a lot of things. So I wanted to go into July thinking positive about my writing, about reading, and about my job, and about just life in general, you know, because there's so much to be thankful for and so much positivity in it. And I was just struggling to find that positivity. Last month, I really wanted to think positive about things, even when sticky situations arise, deal with it, understand what happened, and then turn the page and move on. Those were all of the goals that I had set for myself for July. I feel like I went through that really fast, but we need to get into what I actually did and all of that fun stuff. So let's get into that. So going right down the list, the first project that I worked on, Project Ice, with the goal of 15 to 20,000 words. I am very excited to announce that I hit that goal. I beat Camp Nano. So in April, I made the mistake of in the NaNoWriMo website, excuse me, I put my goal as my high goal. Well, I didn't do that for July. For Camp Nano, I put my low goal, which was 15,000 words, and I ended up passing 15,000 words. I ended up writing 15,101 words last month. Was it by the skin of my teeth? Was I sliding into home plate really close? It was a close call and the umpire was like, That's a toss-up. I don't know if you were safe. I seriously did it on the last day. I was going to make this goal. I was so determined because I had talked to you guys about it. I had started the month out really, really strong with a 5K. Some things happened during the month that I do want to talk about, but I was determined, you guys. I was not going to sit down in front of my camera and confess to the world that I did not reach my goal. It wasn't going to happen. It wasn't an option. For the first couple of weeks of July, I was thriving. I kicked off the month doing a 5K and I vlogged that whole day. And I'll leave that video link down below if you're interested in seeing that. I had a great writing session, really a whole day dedicated to writing and then some other things. And I really loved the writing I was getting done during that day. The second week, I want to say I took a little bit of a break from writing. I didn't make a lot of progress in my story. I'm gonna show the graph on the NaNoWriMo website to give you guys a visual, and I don't think I wrote the second week. I'm really gonna call it and say that I don't think I wrote. And the second week, so even though I didn't write, I wasn't working on Project Ice, I was working on Project Burning Roses, which I'll get to in a minute. I was writing, but I wasn't drafting, if that makes any sense. Then the third week, this was the last week I had before it hit the fan, like hit the fan. This week I ended up doing another 5K on that Saturday. I was already up to about 10,000 words, a little bit past 10,000 words by the 15th of July. I was thriving. I was feeling great. I was exactly where I needed to be with all of my goals. And I was super excited about it because I remember thinking, wow, I'm 15 days into the month, a little above 10,000 words into my word count goal for my first project. I'm gonna be able to hit all of my goals this month. You see, that was my mistake. I verbally said those words out loud. Verbally said them, shouted them from the rooftops. And what did the universe do? Well, the universe said, hold my beer. And what happened to Autumn Ashley? Well, she was sick, bedridden for 5 days. After that, after the 15th, I think it was like the 17th or the 18th that I started to not feel very well. And by the 19th, which was a Wednesday, done. Your girl was done. I was bedridden for 5 days. I had to call out of work and I was freaking out because I'd never called out of work before. Maybe one time back when I was like a lifeguard when I was 17 and that job didn't matter. I'd never called out of work before and I was freaking out. I was panicking, but I was ill. And when I say ill, it was ill. Do you guys hear that? That is my neighbor's alarm. It goes on all the time and I'm gonna lose my train of thought. So I was so sick for an entire week. And I was also starting to get a little nervous because I was sick for an entire week. And it wasn't like I was sick. I could still read. I could still write a little bit. No, I was in bed, sleeping for like 12 hours, waking up, eating soup, drinking water, and then going straight back to bed. It was just absolutely bananas. I've never been that sick before. I mean, if I had been, it's been a very, very long time since I've been that sick. It was just absolutely bizarre. So I was down and out for the count. So I was also really, really freaking out about that because the week that I was coming up to, I was scheduled to work 5 days in a row, which were the last 5 days of the month. I was stressing when I didn't need to stress, but I stressed because that's what I do. I was freaking out because I was so close to hitting my goals and I was so irritated because I was gonna hit every single one of my goals for the entire month. I was gonna do it. I could taste the victory on my tongue and the universe did not allow me to. Well, it thought it wouldn't, but I still did things. I did end up writing 15,101 words last month, and the last few days of the month, I took my laptop to work and wrote during my lunch break. There must have been a little bit of good vibes out in the world because there was a little bit of time when I was at work where it was, I don't want to say it was dead because I work in a hospital. It's a little bit morbid, but it was very quiet. Not a whole lot was going on. So I was able to sneak my laptop out and do a little bit of righty during my downtime at work. I don't recommend. I did get the last little bit of writing done while I was at work during the last 5 days of July. And I did it. I did it, and it was something. I'm not saying that those words that were written while I was at work are good or of any quality, but I did it. I also just want to say that my ending manuscript word count for this project is 51,021 words. So I'm still working on that story. I have about 10 to 12,000 words left in that project before I'm finished with it. Honestly, I hit a lot of milestones with this project last month. I passed 50,000 words, I passed 40,000 words, and I was able to successfully get through Act 2, and I started Act 3, and I want to say I have 5 more chapters left in that manuscript before I'm done. Before I am totally done with the first draft of this fantasy project. I am so freaking proud of the progress that I made last month. Considering I was sick for the week and then I literally worked 5 12-hour night shifts in a row and I was still able to hit this goal. I'm just baffled that I was able to do it, quite honestly. That is everything to do with Project Ice. Now I want to talk about the, oh my gosh, that was like 12 minutes on that one project. I will speed this up a little bit. So the next project I want to talk about is Project Burning Roses. This was the one where I wanted to do a read through, another read through, and come up with a game plan for this project. So unfortunately, I didn't do any read through or any reading of the manuscript of this story, which honestly is a blessing in disguise because I don't think I can balance those two projects. It's really fine that I didn't get to it. However, what I did do, which I did during that second week in July, was start to come up with a game plan for this project. I did come up with a game plan, a revision plan for this project. I don't know if this is exactly going to stay because I haven't read through the story. So I do think it's going to still change and morph as I do read through the story and I figure out what is good, what's not good, and good as in salvageable, what's not salvageable. This revision plan that I'm sharing with you guys, it's subject to change for sure. When I am going to actually start the revision process for this story, I'll make a separate video talking about my revision plan and it'll be as close to what the revisions actually will be for the story, because by that point I'll have had read the story, gone through it a few times, and I'll be at a much better place with that project for that. On the screen I'm going to show you guys what I have for this revision plan up till now. I'm not going to go through the revision plan because I want to do that in a completely separate video and I feel like that'll take too much time. But if you guys want to pause this video and just kind of go through and look, this was the work that I did last month for a revision plan that again is open and subject to change, but when I am about to dive into the revisions for the story, I will make a separate video talking about it. I feel like if I sit here and discuss the revision plan, it's going to take us off course from what I want this video to be. Just stay tuned for my revision plan video, and I'm not quite sure when that'll be out, probably within the next couple of months. I should be starting revisions on Project Burning Roses after August, but I'll get into that at the end of this video. The third goal for July was the hourly goal for each week, and that was 3 to 5 hours. And I'll be totally honest, I didn't exactly keep track of this, but I would say it wasn't as consistent as I wanted it to be. For the first week, which I guess that's kind of like the first half week or the first day of NaNoWriMo, because that started on a Saturday and then the second was the start of the first full week. So I did end up writing for that first day. I wrote, 5,000 words. So that was obviously between 3 and 5 hours. I don't remember exactly how much. Honestly, it was probably a little bit more than that. For the second week, I cannot honestly say that I worked on Project Burning Roses revision plan for 3 to 5 hours. I really don't think it took me that long. I would say maybe an hour or 2 hours, just kind of here and there thinking about what I wanted the revision plan to be for this project and how I wanted to go about rereading that project. So I really don't want to say for that second week I hit that goal because that's just not fair. And I don't think making that document that I showed you guys earlier, I really don't think that took 3 to 5 hours to make. The third week, which was the 9th through the 15th, I ended up doing another 5K. That day in and of itself, it was definitely 3 to 5 hours, but it may have been a little bit more than that just because I was writing 5,000 words in an entire day. And I don't know if I could do that in any less than 5 hours, to be totally honest. I did it for that first day, and I know I did it for the third week. Then the 16th to the 22nd, the 23rd through the 29th, and the 30th and the 31st. So the last 2.5 weeks of the month, I have no idea. I know that third full week, that was when I was sick. And then half of week 4, I was recovering from sickness. Long stretch of days ahead of me for work, but I did manage to get in at least an hour and a half. But that like splits the week. We're not gonna try to figure it out. The bottom line for my hourly goal for each week was it was inconsistent. I'm not torn up about it because I did hit my main goal, my primary goal of writing 15 to 20,000 words for Project Ice, and I did come up with a game plan for Project Burning Roses. That's all I really want to say about my hourly goal. I did what I could, and it is what it is. Now, for the phrase of the month, which was think positive. Boy, do I feel like the universe really tested me on that one. I got sick, working, and just a lot of things. I always feel like when you go into a month or at the start of a shift, you know, when you go into work, you're like, I'm gonna be nice today, or it's gonna be a good day. And then 2 minutes later, you're around the corner and there's an explosion and you're just sitting there looking and you're like, shouldn't have said nothing. That was how I felt for the entire month of July, where I do feel like I was tested because I had verbally said,
I want to think positive next month.
I think I was really pushed to the limits on a lot of things, but I got through the month. I did the best I could, and I do think that changing my mindset into trying to think a lot more positively, or trying to be more positive in sticky situations or situations that aren't ideal, I do think I did the best that I could with the cards I was dealt. The month as a whole, the month started out great. I really don't have anything negative to really say other than the 2 things that I was just going on about, which was sickness and several night shifts in a row, which will not happen again. I feel like my balance between personal work and my hobbies, I really feel like last month it was a good juggle. I didn't overwork myself. I don't feel like anything was just completely out of my control. With that being said, I know I got sick and that really did throw a wrench into the plans that I had for the month, but I mean really it was what it was. I don't feel like I overshot my goals. I don't feel like I made super impossible goals. I feel like my goals were exactly what they needed to be because they were achievable enough to still be a little challenging, if that makes sense. To end this video, what can we expect from me for the next couple of months? Because I'll be back here soon to do maybe a NaNoWriMo announcement or maybe a Preptober announcement for something. What we can expect from me and my projects for the next few months, couple of months, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I have a self-imposed deadline for Project Ice. I want to finish writing that first draft by the end of August. And currently, as I'm filming this video, it's August 10th. I need about 10 to 12,000 words until I'm completely finished with this project. I did mention this earlier that I'm a little above 51,000 words in that project. My overall goal for the manuscript, I want it to be between 60 and 65,000 words. I am almost there. I have about 5 chapters left of that project, I believe. I think it's 5-ish. And usually my chapters have been running between 2,000 words and 2,500 words. I am exactly where I need to be in this project. Because I am so close to the ending, I really feel like it's just gonna be bam, 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 bam. Once I'm able to sit down and finish this project, I feel like these writing sessions are going to be going pretty quickly. That's the game plan for Project Ice. Once I finish the first draft of that, I do want to set that manuscript off to the side. Then I'm going to return to Project Burning Roses and start the read through, incorporate that revision plan or tweak that revision plan a little bit, and then see where I'm at and if I am going to start revisions on that project at some point this year or if I'm going to start them in January. That part is just really up in the air because it just depends on how long that read through is going to take and how much work that manuscript is going to need. And I have a feeling it's going to be quite a lot of work. So that might be something I will revisit at the beginning of 2024 if I want to work on something else for NaNoWriMo. That's what you can expect with my content, finishing Project Ice and starting to work on. I was talking for so long that it stopped recording. That's what you can expect from me for Project Ice and Project Burning Roses for the next few months. And then we will be right back here in a few months from now and we will be seeing what I decide that I want to work on on for November. But that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know how you did for July, if you participated. If you didn't, what did you end up working on? And if you did, what did you work on? What are your goals for August or for the next few months or the remainder of the year? Let me know all of that down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I am Autumn Ashley, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.